Can you see this? Can you see this?
Hi, everybody. It's 6 o'clock. Sorry I'm an hour late today. But I'm listening to a song. Who on my chat here was asking for this? Dennis.
This is, Mike Hamilton.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. Mike Hamilton is on the chat. Hi, Mike. And was asking for this song by Stevie Wonder. I've actually never heard this song before. I like it. But you wanted it on alto sax. I was just figuring it out on flute. Sometimes I figure out these new songs on flute first because it helps me figure out what key we're in. Hi, everybody. Raina asked me what kind of flute that is. Hi, Raina. So this flute is it's a Powell. What's it's a Powell PS601. Can you see that? That's the flute that I have. It's just a regular flute in the key of C. Carmel is asking if you should play oboe. Sure, Carmel. Do you play an instrument right now? Are you thinking about switching? Hello, Joseph. Oh, Mike says he has a 68-year-old friend who is asking to get an alto sax. Oh, who is getting an alto sax soon and asked if you can teach her. So Mike, I started to figure out the first phrase of this. Hi, Brad. Had to listen to it. Okay, so that first phrase. Da 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 da. That's it. So there's the beginning of it. I'll have to take some time and figure that out for you. Maybe I can write out the notes for you. Kaylee is jumping in here. What tips do I have for a beginner clarinet player? Actually, Kaylee, good timing on that question. I just uploaded 5 new videos for beginner clarinet. And teaching you the 5 basic notes, C, D, E, F, G. Those just went up on my channel today. And there's a lot of great tips in those videos on if you're having trouble getting your notes out. So check those videos out. Oh, Dennis is here. Hi, Dennis.
Hey, how you doing, Steve?
Good. And Uncle Joe, I think, is there too.
Yeah.
Hey. So Dennis highlighted Carmel, Indiana's comment. I'm thinking of playing clarinet, but in my school there's first, second, and third choice, and I'm thinking of doing clarinet, second choice oboe, third choice sax. Well, I would say, Carmel, if you're thinking about oboe as one of your choices, I would say definitely why not try that one? Because usually band directors, we don't get a lot of kids that want to play oboe, so when we get a kid who wants to play, that's a really great thing. And you could, if you're the one of only maybe 2 or 3 oboe players in your school, you can get solos and you can get opportunities like that. So you should give it a try. Okay, Super B, oops, I missed that question there. How I'm supposed to hit high notes with only a few minutes of warming up. Super B, what instrument do you play? I'm going to guess trumpet. But if you are expected to play high notes, you should, there he is, Super B checked in, you do play trumpet. You should do a lot of warming up. So when you say you only get not a lot of time to warm up, maybe is that because you go, when band practice starts, your band director doesn't do a lot of warm-ups, see if you can get before band practice starts, get your mouthpiece and your trumpet and do some extra warm-ups. Brad Bradford, what tips do I have for jazz band students to have a better jazz sound? Did it say what instrument? Just jazz band students in general. Okay, so Brad, My first number one recommendation is to whatever instrument that, oh, Brad is saying alto sax, whatever instrument you're trying to get better at for a jazz style, definitely you should do a lot of listening to professional musicians. So one of my favorite jazz musicians, actually I played this same little jazz riff last week, I think. And I'll play it again because Brad was asking me about how can you get better at a jazz sound, and then someone else was asking me to play a blues scale. So one of the first jazz solos I learned was I studied a lot of music by Charlie Parker. You guys ever heard of Charlie Parker? So one of the first things I did was I started learning jazz solos. So one of Charlie Parker's, yes, Mike, exactly. One of Charlie Parker's most famous jazz solos is called Parker's Mood, and it's a B-flat blues. So, and here's the next phrase. So you get a lot of stuff in that. Like I learned that from practicing with Charlie Parker's recordings. You get vibrato, in there. You get the style. You get the little grace notes. Grace notes are really good for jazz. It's when you do a little half step before the note. Oh. So, good jazz sound, and a lot of blues scale was in that song I just played. Here's an easy one. Neil Rocks 84 Roblox. How do you play G sharp on alto sax? Easy. Ready? G sharp. See this pinky right here? 1, 2, 3 is G. That's G sharp. There you go. Dennis has been highlighting some comments here. Onyeka is asking, what advice do I have for switching from alto to tenor? You need help. So, Onyeka, I'm wondering what you're specifically having difficulty with. Alto to tenor is a pretty similar transition. So, like, the only difference between an alto sax and a tenor sax is a tenor sax is a little bit bigger. Here's my tenor sax. Okay? But the keys are the same. The mouthpiece is pretty much the same. It's just a little bit bigger. So, and they have a different sound. So an alto sax is actually, let me think here. E flat, B flat. It's a fourth higher. Mike Hamilton is asking, are they both Selmers? Yes. This is a Selmer Mark 6. This is a Selmer Reference 54. So my advice for switching from alto to tenor is just get used to having your mouth a little bit more open when you play. But other than that, all of the things you learned on alto are exactly the same on tenor. Okay, so Neil Rocks is asking me some note questions. I missed all of those. Okay, here's one from Dennis. I don't know quite how to say that name. I'm Mako. I'm the section leader of my school, and the saxophones won't play loud because they're nervous to mess up. Okay. Oh, Neil Rocks is doing the clarinet G major scale. All right, Neil Rocks, I can help you with the clarinet G major scale. I'll do that in a minute. So my biggest advice for helping so if your section is if they're afraid to play loud because they're afraid to mess up, that means they're not confident in what they are playing. So what I would recommend is you take it a little bit at a time. Take one piece of the music and maybe 2 measures, and get your section to feel really confident about those 2 measures. Maybe it's something that's a little bit easier. Maybe it's something that's really fun to play. And then as you get them more confident in it, have them play louder and louder, and then try to apply that to other parts of the song. That's my best piece of advice right now. Try to get them confident in a small accomplishment and then build on that. Okay, we have a lot of questions coming through. Thank you guys for all these questions. Here is a question from a viewer. I can't pronounce that name. I think it's Russian. Hello, what is the difference between stone mouthpiece and metal mouthpiece? Well, I've never heard of a stone mouthpiece, but I wonder what you're referring to there. I mean, there's metal mouthpieces. I don't think I have any handy. I have some metal mouthpieces. There's metal mouthpieces, and usually the other type that I see are these hard rubber mouthpiece. And the difference is, generally hard rubber mouthpieces are what you would use I use hard rubber for jazz and classical. Metal is usually reserved for if you're playing in a jazz or if you're playing in like a rock and roll band or like a pop music band. The metal mouthpieces really get you a louder, more direct sound that cuts through loud music. But if you're playing jazz or classical or something more acoustic, I prefer hard rubber mouthpieces. Okay. Micah, take a quick question. How do you play? Micah wants to play C sharp. Micah, what instrument are you asking that for? And I will tell you. Okay. Oh, Rachel. Hi, Rachel. Rachel, I don't think I've seen you on the live stream here before, so welcome. Do you have any marching advice for someone who's never marched before? Yes. And I say this to we had just had 2 weeks of band camp at my school. And one of the things I've been telling our beginner marchers is if you're really confused, like if you're getting overloaded, like when the whole band is marching and playing the show, and maybe you're getting a little bit confused, I tell them to sort of temporarily pay less attention to the notes of your music and just kind of take a break from that and focus on your feet. Because if you're in a big marching band, if you drop out or maybe you miss a couple of notes here or there, that's not a huge deal. But if you're out of step or you miss a step off, that's more visible to the audience. So if you need to kind of pause your music and focus on your feet just to keep your feet in time, left, right, that's more important to focus on it first. And then you start to add in the music to it. So I hope that helps. All right. I saw an easy question. How many bass clarinets are in a band? I think Lath asked that. There are, I would say, 2, sometimes maybe 3 bass clarinets in a large concert band. Okay. Okay, just another clarinetist. Can I play something on the clarinet? So I would love to play something on the clarinet. If you guys could throw out a couple requests, I'll pick one out to play on the clarinet. Okay, Hilkia is asking, can you please show me how to tongue on the trombone? Yes, I will show you that right now. And then someone asked me a good tuner app. I recommend a tuner app called Bandmate, Bandmate, Bandmate Chromatic Tuner. I know the folks that created that app, and it's a really good app. There's a free version that you can use totally free, and then if you want to spend a couple bucks, there's like an upgraded version that has some cool features. So Bandmate Chromatic Tuner. A lot of band directors also like an app called Tonal Energy. Okay? I was going to do a clarinet song, so let me do that. You guys have a lot of great questions. Thank you for all these questions. So a little warm up on the clarinet. I was playing a chromatic scale. I forgot Neil Rocks, your question. Neil, do you still want to know how to do a G scale on the clarinet? Let me know. I can do that. And someone just chimed in with, how do you play a high C on the clarinet? Just like this. Ready? Thumb, register key, just that, and it's a high note. Okay, so that's a high C. All right, so I'm looking at Neil's comment. G major scale goes like this. Neil is checking in. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A. Neil, you're close, except if you just stop at the second G, the A and the B flat at the top are not part of the G major scale. A G major scale is G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So I'll play it for you, and then I'll do a song on the clarinet. Here's my alto. All right, here we go. A G major scale, ready? So that's the high octave. Here's the low octave. There's your G major scale. Okay. So I'm looking for requests on what I'm going to play on clarinet. Let's see. Avengers theme. Dylan wants to hear the Avengers theme. Someone's asking for Flight of the Bumblebee. I don't know that on clarinet. I know the first part of it. Oh, and I still have to teach how to tongue on trombone. Okay, so here is, I remember the Avengers theme. Here we go. Is that how it goes? Oh, it starts here. Something like that, and then it goes. Something like that. I think I have a video on that. So there we go. Okay, now trombone tonguing. And someone's asking me about double tonguing, so I'll talk about both of those things. Here is my trombone. Now, I forget who asked me this, but the trombone tonguing is the same as any other tonguing. So if you want to learn how to tongue on your instrument, say this, say two, 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 or do, 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 do. When you do that, you should feel your tongue hitting behind your teeth, kind of right where the top of your top teeth meet your gums. 2, 2, 2. Now on a brass instrument, that's exactly how we tongue. Woodwinds, it's a little different, but on brass, it's exactly how you tongue when you're blowing your note. So blow some air through your mouthpiece, and we go silently. So now we buzz. And my tongue is moving back and forth in my mouth just like I'm saying do, 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 do. But I'm not using my voice. You don't use your voice. You go. Or Sharifa is saying ta, ta, ta. Same idea. Ta, ta, tu, tu. It all works because of the T sound. So then we do a note like an F. Each time my finger was popping like that, my tongue was just tapping right behind my teeth. Two, two, two. Now some people do double tonguing. That's an advanced technique. It's when you go, instead of going two, 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 you go two, ku, two, ku, two. So the front part of your tongue, tongues, and then the back part of your tongue, tongues, like the roof of your mouth. Two, ku, two, ku. So this is an advanced thing. You wouldn't really do this in elementary or even middle school. This is more of a high school thing. I don't even know if I can do it. I'm pretty terrible at that because I'm not really a trombone player. But that's the idea. All right, Laith, I'm going to answer your question. Difference between a contrabass clarinet and a bass clarinet. Contrabass is lower, and I think a contrabass is an octave lower. Yeah, there's an E flat and I think a B flat contrabass. They are lower, an octave lower than the regular bass clarinet. I think contra is in B flat. I'd have to Google that, but I'm pretty sure contra bass clarinet is in the same key as regular bass clarinet, everything is an octave lower, and it's huge. It's like super huge instrument. Dennis, is there a question that's coming through that I'm missing or something I should answer?
Yeah, there's one, Carmel, Indiana. When she's talking about that they have to pick instruments, and she wants to let you know which one she got.
Thank you,
the
Joseph.
band teacher said we don't always get our first choice, so maybe give her some advice on that.
Okay, so a lot of kids when they're doing their beginner band, Robert, hi Robert, you're switching to alto sax because you assistant drum major. I do remember you, Robert. So let me know how that's going, that you're switching to alto sax. So a lot of kids, when they start in beginner band, the teachers don't always like to just give kids complete choice on what they pick, because there are certain rules to how many instruments you're supposed to have in a band. Like, you don't want to have every student playing drums, right? You can't have all drummers. So a lot of band directors will do instrument tryouts or instrument tests, or have students pick their top 3. See ya, Brad. Join us next time. So, you know, a lot of kids get recommendations from their band directors. And so you might get a first choice, a second choice, or a third choice. And sometimes you get to pick. Sometimes it gets picked for you. But usually the band directors will make a good recommendation. And if you really, really don't want to play that instrument, you might be able to ask to change it. I don't know. It all depends on your school. So was there any more to that question, Dennis? Or there was... No? Okay. So Pedro is asking, do I still have my piccolo? Yes, I do. Here's my piccolo. It's right there. I'm also seeing this question come through. Do I know how to use an electro sax? Almond Prawn. So Almond, do you mean like there's electronic wind instruments that they're not really saxophones. They're like, they're black and they have keys on them. I've played one of those before. So I've never really explored that much. Robert is responding. It's a little rough. I played clarinet for a bit, but also played flute, so I have a good idea of fingering and reeds. Yeah, so just stick with it, Robert. I know you'll do well with it. The fingerings are not that hard to learn on alto sax. Oh, Anna Montejano is asking, what is the difference of alto and soprano sax? Okay, an alto sax is in the key of E flat. So, and a soprano sax an alto sax has a little curve to it. This is alto. Soprano sax is the straight one, looks like a metal clarinet. And that one is in the key of B flat. It's actually the same as a tenor sax, but an octave higher. And so a soprano sax plays higher notes than alto sax. Soprano sax you don't really see in school bands. You only see them in special songs in school. So most directors would want you to play alto or tenor or bari. And Chris T, I do play soprano. I have my soprano over there in my room here. I see Two Mops has asked a few times, can I play the Manhattan Spiritual? I don't know that song. I'd have to look it up. Okay, and Onyeka has asked a few times, how do you play legato on tenor sax? All right, Mike. Yeah, I'll try to work on that for you, okay? So, how to play legato. All right, I forget already who, Onyeka. So, playing legato on any instrument is pretty much the same. Legato means that when you tongue the notes, okay, Robert, see you later. When you tongue the notes, your air never stops. And the way I describe it to my students, here, I'll even do it on tenor sax for you, okay? So, the way I describe it to my students is I say, imagine like you turn on the garden hose or you turn on the faucet in the sink and the water is rushing out. That's your air. Tonguing, legato tonguing, is you keep that air moving. The air does not stop. You keep the faucet running and your tongue just flicks and interrupts the air like you would maybe run your finger in and out of the water to slightly interrupt it. So I'm going to turn on my air, my water faucet. And I'm also using a light tongue to just barely tap the reed. So instead of thinking toot 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 toot, I'm thinking do 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 do, where my tongue is just like lightly touching. Okay, Jay Flossin. I would like to know, how do I improve my tone on marching baritone? I am a formal saxophonist. So Jay plays the saxophone, but plays marching baritone. The answer to getting better tone is 2 words: long tones, and just spending a lot of time playing long notes on your instrument. So I'm a saxophone player too, right? Just like you. But when I play brass instruments, when I first pick it up, I usually sound not so great with my tone. But once I warm up, like the beginning of my note wasn't so good. But you have to really do your long tones and find just the right vibration of your lips, the right opening of your embouchure to get the best sound. Try doing crescendos, decrescendos. Try doing your lip slurs. See, I need to really practice this. So you work on your lip slurs, and that really trains up your lips to get a better tone. I hope that helps. You're welcome, Jay. So Eleonora says, how do I stop squeaking on my sax? All right, Eleonora, I'm going to help you out here, all right? So, squeaking on the sax can be caused by a couple of things. Okay, see, I was trying to squeak. If your reed is, first of all, just check your reed. Do you have a nice reed? Is it cracked? Needs to be a nice reed. Needs to be lined up properly on the mouthpiece, so it should be lined up with the tip, not under too far or over. Usually if you squeak, it might be because your embouchure is not set properly. So the saxophone embouchure, say O, your firm corners, hi Landon, your bottom lip goes over your bottom teeth, and your top teeth, it looks kind of silly, but your top teeth go on top. And then your lips close around and make an O. So bottom lip, kind of a firm bottom lip on the reed, top teeth on top, close your lips like an O. That makes a nice open flow of air. A lot of times when people squeak, they're squishing down on the mouthpiece like this. Right? That's really not incorrect bottom lip. Okay? You might be squeaking because you don't have the right amount of mouthpiece in your mouth. So practice finding the right amount of mouthpiece. If you have too much, it'll squawk. If you don't have enough, it'll sound real pinched. So you have to find the right amount of mouthpiece to put in your mouth. There's a few helpful tips. I hope that helps. And Aaliyah is saying you're pressing the reed too hard. Aaliyah, you might be right. So thank you for chiming in there. So Dennis, can you check in?
Yeah, Hannah is saying, I'm in the section leader for clarinet, so my band director keeps asking me to go to all county. I'm nervous. Do you think I should? I'm scared for sight reading, mostly for your thoughts.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen Hannah ask that question a few times. So Hannah, first of all, congratulations for being section leader. And what I think you should be proud of is if your band director asked you to go to all county, that means your band director thinks that you are able to do it. So your band director wouldn't ask you if your band director didn't think that you could do it. So first of all, you should be proud of that, and you should be confident because your band director thinks you can do it. I totally understand being nervous. See you, Landon. I understand being nervous. I was nervous when I used to do auditions. I'm still nervous sometimes if I'm doing auditions or concerts. So the sight reading can be a little scary, and the best way to get good at sight reading is just to. Oh, Landon, I'm sorry. I thought you said bye. The best way to get good at sight reading is to practice sight reading. So there's a cool website called Sight Reading Factory .com. Sight Reading Factory. So if you go on there, if you use the free version, it gives you, I think, like 20 exercises, but it will generate like random sight reading for you to try. So if you're just starting to do sight reading, you should try it, but do it on like the easiest level. And it's just good practice. So I would recommend that you go for it and you try to prepare yourself by doing some extra sight reading practice. So I hope that helps. Okay. Pedro, how do you do a glissando on the flute? Okay. Glissando on any instrument. You guys ever seen that word before? Glissando. Kind of a funny word. And we're actually getting close to the end of our live stream today, but I'll answer this and maybe a few other quick questions. Glissando is when your notes, they want you to go up to a note up top, but they want you to do sort of a scale from the bottom. So like on a piano, like that. See? That's my note. Oops. There it is. Okay? Now, on the flute, I was trying to do that without looking. So say I'm on I'm going up to a high D. I might go. I'm going like from a low D, and I'm going kind of up the scale as quickly as I can. So a glissando doesn't have to be perfect. It's just the effect of you have to get to that top note on the right beat. So say I want to get there on beat 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, on beat 1. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that wasn't so good. There it is. I got it. Okay, that's a glissando. Okay, a couple of quick questions here. Someone asked about a high G. Oh, okay. Here's an easy one. How do you trill on the alto sax? Trilling on any instrument is exactly the same. You take the note that they give you in the music. Say it's a G. I'll use. Well, you asked about sax. I'll pick up my sax. Say it's a G, and they put the TR symbol and the squiggly line. That means you play the G, and you trill up and down to the next note after G. So it'd be G to A. So, like that. That is a trill, and it's the same for any note on your instrument. You just take the note that's written and you go one note higher. So, what I would like to do, guys, Sharifa is asking, what time and when do I live stream? So my live streams are usually every Sunday, and I usually do them at 5, although I did my live stream at 6 today, and seems like we had more people watching at the 6 o'clock time, so I might try to do 6 o'clock again next week and see if that's a better time for everyone. But generally, I do every Sunday, and I'm going to keep doing these live streams. So those of you out there who are in your school bands, or if you're beginners, let your friends know who are in beginner band. I'll be answering all kinds of beginner band questions or questions for any level. Okay? You guys have had a lot of great questions here today, so I really appreciate it. How about before we go, I always love to do a little shout out section. So if you want to shout out, check in. Let me know where you are watching from. Can you guys let me know where you're watching from? Lath is asking, do I have a student that plays bass clarinet? I do have several students who play bass clarinet. Mike Hamilton is in Scotland. Yes, I remember Mike, of course. Michael, Lucky Miners in PA. Minnesota, Evan's in Minnesota. Kaylee's in Utah. J Bay is in Las Vegas. Eleonora is in Georgia. Shivani's in Colorado. Hello. Oblong Crown is in Texas. So Landon, I said I'm going to try to do, I think I'm going to do 6 o'clock next week, okay? Someone's watching, oh, these are kind of moving. Jacobo is watching from Canada, Alberta. James Bondis is in Cleveland. Oblong, oh, these are jumping around. Leslie Jaramillo is in Bakersfield, California. Lots of people checking in from all over. Hello, Texas. Lath is in Florida. And Pug Person is in Illinois. J-Bay, Viva Las Vegas. Yeah. All right. So, guys, thank you for all the check-ins. Parker is in North Carolina. And Lath, I am going to keep my promise to you. I'm going to bring a bass clarinet next time, okay? That is a promise. And Dennis and Uncle Joe are going to hold me to that promise, right?
Yep.
Okay. They're going to remind me. Okay. So, everybody out there in the chat, I'd like you to say thank you to, as always, to Dennis and Joe who are helping us out with the comments. And I'm going to have I'm sure I'm going to have a great week at school. I start back this week with a couple of teacher meetings, and then our students come back next week. So I know some of you are already back in school. Hope you're having a great time. Remember to let your friends know about the Dr. Selfridge live stream every Sunday. And it's always posted on my page in advance. So make sure, if you're not already a subscriber, you please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on my Instagram and all that stuff back here. So thank you so much, guys, and I will see you all next week. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, Steve.
Okay. Bye, everyone. See you next time.
Over and out.
Over and out.